So I just received the other day. This is the Good Smile Figma Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword link. And so this joins my other two, which is A Link Between Worlds and Twilight Princess. So this one I kind of missed out on. So it took me a while, but this is actually the fourth re-release. It originally came out in 2012, and they've done four re-releases. They haven't done one since 2017, but I always like when figure makers do re-releases of these kind of figures to give as many people as possible access to them. They're all really nice figures. This one cost me about $70, and on Amazon, which is not where I bought it from, it's just about $70. It was originally it cost in Japan, the cost adjusted for USD was around $50, and I think it's probably around a $50 figure worth. So these Figma figures, I rarely get them because they tend to get inflated in price when they come over, and 50 to 70 is actually not that much compared to a lot of the other figures. So if I buy a Figma figure, it has to be a license that I really care about, because mostly they do just kind of like mobile app characters that people in the West don't really care about. They're always really nice. I would say one thing, that I'm a little surprised there is some paint slopping there onto his little sash there, but by and large the paint jobs are pretty meticulous. Great face. It can be swapped with another face, more of a neutral face. This was actually the face that came with it, and then there's another hair, and I could not get the hair to go in. Have the shield, and then sword, which can come out of the scabbard. So it's very similar to the sword here. And let's see, is it the exact same sword? It might be the exact same sword. A little bit of a color difference. A little tiny bit of a color difference. But pretty much the same. There's some other things in here. I guess that's the slashing of the sword. I don't tend to really use that. The scabbard pegs into the back. The only problem is the peg, when it's in there, not the peg, but the scabbard really kind of gets hampered by his hat. I'm assuming this is the original design. I think the shoulders are not that great. So this would be, if it was released in 2012, that means it's a decade-old design. And it does feel like an older design, but I think that it's simple and effective. I don't really have much issue with it, other than the shoulders, which I think could be better. I think the shoulders on here are better. This is probably a more recent design. You can see here I have each one of the games, actually. Now there are obviously far more than 3 links, or 3 Zelda games, so they could possibly make a lot more, but I don't think they've made a new one in quite some time. So maybe they're done. I don't know, but maybe we'll see. So there's A Link Between Worlds for the 3DS, and that's a pretty good likeness right there. I think that's a really good likeness. I put the yelling face on, looks kind of similar. I'd have to exchange the hands. There's other pair of hands for the sword holding and the shield holding, so maybe I'll do that eventually. This is one of the few Zelda games I never played, and so you might be wondering why I never played it if I have it right here. The problem was that it requires the Wii Motion Plus, and I actually did buy the Wii Motion Plus to get it, attached it onto my whatever they call the motion controllers, and it wasn't working. and I tried it, and I just gave up. And I actually did eventually get a motion controller, one that's not an attached to the motion controller, but a motion controller itself. And I never ended up playing the game. And now the Wii is quite elderly at this point, and I have to admit that I've never been as much of a fan of Zelda series as a lot of people. There's Nintendo series I love. Zelda's not my favorite. I sometimes find them kind of repetitive, and a lot of the side quests, the reward is often not worth the effort. I did like the newest Zelda game, but again, I didn't love it as much as some people. So there's Zelda Twilight Princess, and this one is still sealed. I never opened it, which was true of a lot of my Wii U games. I bought a lot of Wii U games with the intention of playing them, and then ended up not playing them. And the reason was because when the Wii U came out, I had a couple new kids, and didn't have really time. So I have a ton of Wii U games which are still sealed, and maybe someday I'll play them. But they certainly haven't appreciated in value, so as a collectible, it really hasn't worked out for me. But it is nice that I now have the complete set of all of the different Link figures from Figma. What's interesting is that if you go on Amazon, so there's the Twilight Princess, so that's 147. It's the deluxe edition. Now I don't know. There's 98, 147. I'm assuming it's not a knockoff, but I don't know what the difference price is. $70. It was a lot more than that, and I suspect that it will probably go back up again once the availability diminishes. And then we have the Princess, which I also have listed for $224. It is a nice figure. I didn't pull that one out. And this figure, A Link Between Two Worlds, I couldn't even find it on there. So, these, from a collectability standpoint, probably appreciate in value decently. I don't know if people are actually paying those prices, but could look on eBay. But I think these, I wish they would not have the price jump so high when it comes to the U.S., because these are very nice figures. Nintendo, a lot of companies make Nintendo figures, but Figma and Bandai definitely are the premier figures. You can find a lot more Zelda Link figures that are not nearly of the quality of what Figma and Bandai do. I don't think Bandai has a Link figure, but they do some other Nintendo figures that I'll probably show at some point, maybe sooner rather than later. This is the box that came with it. I like that Figma keeps their boxes nice and small. Probably could be even smaller, but I think this is fine. So there you can see the slashing effect that's in there. And he's got good posability. As with all of the three, his legs are a little bit hampered by his skirt, but so be it. They do a good job of making it look like maybe he's got more leg movement than he actually does. But anyway, this is the Figma Good Smile Link from Skyward Sword. Very nice figure.